Hey guys, and welcome back to the game room. So, just to generate a little bit of discussion, really, I thought I'd do a video on things that aren't very good, or things that I've picked up that aren't very good, maybe even things that I've done that have turned out not very good. So we'll start off with this power supply. Now, this is a retro DC power supply that I picked up, and I talked about in one of my setup videos, I think, one of my setup tour videos, that I had that for the Mega Drive, 32X and Mega CD to rig them all up together at once. The reason that thing isn't very good is because it actually introduces interference into the picture. I noticed it when I was going through the EverDrive menu. I could see these black speckles running up the screen really quickly. And I thought, that's odd. Obviously tried reseating all the cables, including the power supply. Still the same. Tried running just the Mega Drive on its own with this power supply. Still got the speckles going up the screen. So I tried using a genuine Sega power supply for all three of the devices, the Mega Drive, the Mega CD, the 32X. No such problem at all. So this power supply seems to introduce noise into the picture. I've even tried plugging it directly into my TV, i.e. the Mega Drive, when it's being powered by this directly to my TV, to make sure it's not the FrameMeister that could be causing those speckles. And the same thing applied. You could still see the video was a bit noisy. The edges of text and things were sort of shimmering and moving around a bit. So unfortunately, this thing isn't very good. I'm not going to mention, obviously, how it was recommended to me. I mean, it was recommended by a YouTuber, but I'm certainly not going to reveal who that was, because maybe my unit's defective and maybe theirs worked great. But this thing is not very good at all. Do not buy one of these, guys. Now you're going to say, what on earth are you doing putting your Amiga 1200 in front of the camera as being not very good? Unfortunately, I'm not really going to be able to show you this, not very well, but where my thumb is, there's actually a pimple on the case. Now that is down to me. That's not down to the Amiga. That's down to me. When I put the top cover back on, I've obviously put a screw in the wrong place, and it's obviously put a nice little pimple in the case. So that's a thing that's not very good either, but something that I've done. Thankfully, Gadget UK, awesome YouTuber by the way, watch his channel, check his stuff out. He actually linked me to a Kickstarter that are doing brand new cases, various different colours and designs and all that sort of stuff. So I'm following that. I would like to get a replacement case for this Amiga 1200, but the original colour. And obviously I'll put my original badge on if they can't do the original badges. So yeah, another thing that's not so good, but I did that. That's not something that is bad about the Amiga. Pick one of these up. If you've ever wanted an Amiga, maybe you always wanted one, never had one as a child or as a teenager, maybe friends or family members had them, pick one of these up, because it is actually a good machine, but what I did to it, unfortunately, wasn't so good. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, these things are not very good at all. And the reason they're not very good is because I want to use these wirelessly, as you'd expect, because they're infrared controllers, and I want to sit a little bit of a distance away. Now, when I say a little bit of a distance, in my case, I'm only talking probably about 7 feet from my Mega Drive where the receiver's plugged in. And these things act up like crazy. I thought it was the battery, so I put brand new batteries in there. Nope, still acting up. So how do they act up? Well, I was noticing when I was playing Sonic 3, I was pressing the jump button and Sonic wasn't jumping that high. I thought, that's very odd. Tried to pause the game as well, and it would pause and unpause very, very quickly. Basically, this thing is sending, or appears to be sending, a couple of pulses rather than just one pulse when I'm pressing a button, or there's some kind of signal interference that's going on that's breaking up the signal and the receiver's thinking that I'm pressing the button twice in quick succession. I literally have to go right up close to the receiver with the control pad in order for it to behave as it should. For example, if I hold the C button down on a Sonic game, and I'm sat 7 feet away, or not even that, if I get sort of 3 feet away, Sonic will just carry on jumping as if I'm tapping the button when I'm actually holding it. If I do it with a genuine, normal Sega Mega Drive wired controller, it doesn't do that. So these things are expensive, and they're also not very good at all. 8BitDo, please make a Bluetooth adapter and, retro Sega controller if you can for the Mega Drive, because that would be amazing. It means I'd be able to use it with the Mega Drive, with the Master System, with the Amiga, and any other systems basically that have got that same, pin layout or controller port. That'd be so awesome. But these things, they are absolutely terrible, guys. Okay, so one good thing about the Victor Saturn Gadget UK again, awesome fella. He gave me some advice on the components that I needed to repair the original power supply. I ordered those components from Mouser, went ahead, desoldered the faulty components, which was a varistor, as well as the fuse. I actually put a fuse holder on the power board so that you could easily change the fuse if it ever gets blown again in the future for whatever reason. And yeah, the Victor Saturn now works off of its own power supply. Things that aren't good, however. Number one, it still has the problem with the flashy graphics. The behaviour is slightly different when I plug it into my TV directly rather than the FrameMeister, but still you get the flashy background on the CD player screen. You still get flashy graphics with flashy backgrounds with games like Daytona USA and Sega Rally. On the pseudo Saturn cartridge, on my other Saturns, which all work fine, you get a black screen behind the little menu box that pops up. On this, for some reason, it's red, which again is probably something to do with what's going on inside it. Now, I'm hoping, as Gadget UK said, it might be that it is capacitors and I'll get them replaced, but something tells me the behaviour suggests it could be the VDP2 chip, because that deals with background images and also the playback of FMVs. So I'm starting to think maybe the VDP2 chip's had a bit of a nightmare. And also another thing that isn't very good is that somebody has actually broken, you're not going to be able to see it, the battery holder. There's actually like a plastic piece that overhangs the back there so the battery can be sort of pushed into place and sit down. Someone's actually broken that and snapped that off when trying to take the battery out of this at some point. So I can't put a battery in there and can't keep it in there. So at some point, if I manage to get the other issue sorted out with this, with the video, I'm going to have to do something about that battery holder, maybe replace it with another one. So yeah, I'll try and do some repairs to it. It's a shame because I really like the Victor Saturn. This particular model, the Model 1, isn't common, and it'd be nice to get this thing up and running and add that to the collection as a working machine. But anyway, guys, just thought this might generate a bit of discussion. Would really love to see what you think, things you bought that you think retro video game related aren't very good, maybe things you've done that aren't very good. Let me know either in the comments or, yeah, do a video response, and I'll look forward to watching those. So guys, thanks for watching. Catch you again soon.